Hi there, I'm Jamie Taylor. Welcome to Your Health Matters, brought to you by Kingman Regional Medical Center, your community-owned hospital. As you know, this program has different guests each week where we talk about different programs, services, healthcare issues that I think will be of interest for you and your family. So I hope you'll stay tuned. I've got a great guest on the program today. We'll be back right after these messages. Welcome back to Your Health Matters. My guest today is Maxine Burgess. Thank you for being on the program.
It's fun.
Good.
Yeah.
So Maxine, you have been a volunteer at KRMC in many aspects, and we're going to talk about that and some of the other things you and your husband Dwight have done. But first, tell me, how long have you been in Kingman?
We've been here 22 years.
Oh my goodness.
The minute he retired, we were here and we had already built our house.
Wow, but you've seen a lot of changes in 22 years.
Oh yes, when we came here, the hospital was one of the only lights when you got off the interstate.
So it was I-40 was put through then?
Yeah, the I-40 was here, but
not too much else up on this end.
No lights, no. Wow. Very few lights out on Stockton Hill Road.
Was it dirt after the hospital still?
No, it was blacktop until we got to, seemed to me out just past Northern, somewhere out there.
Yeah,
anyway.
probably, that makes sense.
Front of wasn't paving in front of our house. We were on gravel road.
Okay.
When we first moved here.
Excellent. So you have seen lots of changes.
Yes.
That's pretty
cool. And
it's
been interesting.
Yeah, I bet.
It really has, to watch stores come and go.
Yeah.
And Walmart moved.
Right.
And we had a little place in Bullhead, so we were familiar with Kingman.
Okay.
But we would never have chosen a place to live for a long time.
So how did you pick Kingman?
We were on the motorcycle and we rode out Stockton Hill Road and we saw some areas where there was some lots and for sale sign. Couldn't get a real estate person to call us back, so we came back one other time, and Rita Neal, who was the Neals were old timers here in town.
Yeah, the Neal family.
She came out and showed us two lots, and one was, when we discovered later, one had been sold and the other one was kind of on a consignment. But we got the other one, which just turned out perfect for what my husband wanted.
Great. So you built your own home.
Yeah. He had a 30 by 60 workshop built before I got the house, however, to put all the stuff in. Yeah, typical man. Yeah.
Well, and part of that, was that where he rebuilt his cars?
He brought out a 56 Jaguar that needed to be rebuilt, and he did that. That was his first project.
Wow. Yeah. So how many cars has he rebuilt? He
did that. And that took quite a while because he had to order parts, some of them from England and places. Then Crystal Burgess' husband had a car dealership out here on Stockton Hill.
Yeah,
he bought a Bronco from him.
Okay.
And he restored this Bronco, and it was beautifully painted and so on. But he wouldn't take it out in the desert because it might get scratched, so we sold it.
That's like having a truck that's never seen mud, right?
Yeah,
it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, no. And then after that, I think we did a lot of traveling, did a lot of motorcycle riding, and just enjoyed being retired.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when did he start? Because I have to, we'll start here. When did he buy the 29 Model A? How long ago did he do that?
It's 1928.
Oh, 28.
But he bought it, he found an ad down in Texas.
Okay.
And a friend of his came from Colorado, and they borrowed another friend's car hauler, and they came home with that full of a pile of junk. I mean, there was the body frame, and there was some kind of an engine in it, and the steering wheel.
Oh my gosh.
And the rest was just piles and piles and piles of junk.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I wonder what he paid for it. I think he paid like $2,500.
Oh, that's a pretty good deal, right?
Well, except that the engine didn't work for that car. He went through 2 other trials. It was quite a long
process.
And it has took him 12 years, but he was dedicated, and he's an artist in what he does.
Yes, he is.
Well, he grew up on a farm in Illinois, and he had to rehaul the tractors from time to time, he said. And his dad would come home from work and say, did you fix the tractor? And he'd say, oh, yes. Well, let me see what you did. And he said, so I took it all apart again, showed him what I did. So it meant every time I rehauled one, it was twice.
Oh, my goodness. Well, so he rebuilt this beautiful 1928 Model A car from that pile of junk.
12 years later.
A working, beautiful inside and out. I mean, the upholstery, everything.
He did headliner, all the upholstery, redid the seats, the car doors, even to little fancy pockets on the side of the car doors. Everything but the chrome, I'd say.
And that he probably polished.
Well, he had to buy a couple of pieces, but he painted the wheels. I mean, it's amazing to me.
It is. And then you gifted it to the KRMC Foundation.
Well, when you had another car here some time ago, he said, that's probably what I ought to do. And I said, but you just finished it. And he said, but all my love for what I do is gone. I'll never drive it.
Yeah.
And so
he gave
it to the, and I can't think of a better. I'm in love with this hospital.
Well,
I guess you know that because you see me here so often. But I am just greatly in love with what they do. I've been in their ER. I've been, I had a hip replacement here, and I've been through rehab, which was fantastic.
Yep, that's awesome.
I love the wellness center.
Yeah, but it's still an amazing gift to me, that I look at it as such an amazing gift that you did that for the foundation and this beautiful car that he put 12 years of his life into. And then we turned around and sold it, but we made $16,000 on that car.
Well, we're just thrilled to death. We really are.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we're going to use that to help provide nursing scholarships to bring better nurses here.
Yeah. Well, we need it.
Yep,
we need it all because
we keep growing. We need more nurses.
But I just, I don't even know how I got started doing my volunteer work. I was active in our church, but there were things that I couldn't do. The people I wanted to help, and so on. So.
Did you start
I think it all started when they started the Lingenfelder thing.
Oh, our hospice home. When we built the hospice home?
Well, it was going to be built.
Right, yeah.
But I started volunteering from the old office.
Okay, in hospice.
Yeah, in hospice.
Okay.
Oh, and that was just, like I said, I met several people. It's amazing. One little man, I went to sit with him. The daughter had come from Chicago to go with the mother to go shopping and out to lunch. And they said he just had morphine and he'll sleep the whole time. Well, 10 minutes after they left, he woke up. But he was still under. But we talked about cars.
Oh, perfect.
He had worked not too far from us. He lived not too far from where we lived in California.
Oh.
And he worked in auto repair, painting and so on. So I started telling him about what my husband did. He'd go to sleep, and about 15 minutes later, he'd wake up and say, "What kind of a car was that?"
So just like pick up where he left off?
It was just amazing. And I think we talked 2/3 of the time. And of course, with a mouth like mine, I love to talk, so.
That worked out well.
It worked. 2 days later, he passed away.
Oh, my goodness. So you were there to help him
But then I had a second man that almost was the same situation. When I went in, he was on medications, and the first time I was there, he stayed in bed the whole time, and he didn't talk. And she said, he's bedridden. Mm. The second time I came, and I sat in the bed across from him and talked to him, he told me he grew up in Kingman. His father had the big oil company, and he and his dad would take the wagon with horses and haul all the chemicals out to the mines.
Oh, my word.
He told me this long, long story. And I said, well, I'll bet you would enjoy reading some of our museum newsletters? And he said yes. So the next time I went, he was wearing his sweats and he's sitting in a recliner. And he got so excited, he started reading and he said, I know 2 people right away.
Oh, that he knew when he grew up.
Oh, yeah. His wife told me, oh, he just enjoyed that. 2 days later, he passed away.
Wow. But
So,
you're able to
yeah,
give him
yeah.
that.
I mean, it's just, but I didn't feel hurt. I felt like I had done something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the hospice thing, I don't know, I've got involved in the crazy things like being with the boys in your office.
Yes, my crew.
When they had the hospice walk, and
Yes.
I was a biker. And they didn't recognize me till we were cleaning up. I got dressed up.
Oh, that was when they did the Spirit of Hospice walk,
Yeah,
Doc's
yeah,
walk?
yeah, and
They didn't know it was you?
they didn't know
Oh,
it was me.
I love that. I didn't know that.
No, we were cleaning up and I said, Scott, what do you want to do with these bottles of water? And all of a sudden he turned around and he looked at me and he said, Maxine, is that you? And I said, yeah, I've been here the whole time.
Oh, that's too funny.
No, that was a good one, yeah.
Well,
But-
you are just such a ball of energy, and it's just, and you touch so many different things. I know you're real involved in your church. You've been very involved with hospice. You're a volunteer at the regular hospital too,
Yeah, Thursday
right?
nights.
Thursday nights.
Love
you
it.
do.
Wonderful.
That's great. And all of those, I think, are opportunities that people may not be aware of that they can help volunteer as well, right?
Hospital volunteers we always need because we all age up.
Yes, yeah, it gets harder.
And they need more. They need people in, and there's a reward there that I don't know how to describe.
Yeah.
You take a patient out of the hospital, you push them out in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
They're all different personalities. Some of them will talk to you, some respond, some don't. But it's still
Helping them go home, right?
oh yeah, and they're
Yeah.
usually very ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know how I got, and then I met all of you people. too.
Right,
And
yes,
it's been a fun thing. That's the way I look at it.
Yep.
I'm having fun. It's my night out a week.
Good.
Yes,
good.
that's my night
Well,
out.
and if folks are watching this show, we can let them know that we're looking for more volunteers now as we're starting to reopen Wallapai Mountain Campus.
Yeah, we need it.
Yep,
Yes,
they
very
need
many.
volunteers over there to help. They're just doing like from 10 to 2 because right now it's just going to be our
Yeah.
acute rehab, which you were in. You did
Yes.
that.
And I'm teasing the girls still remember me, and they
You are
they
making
want
memories.
they want me over there.
Oh, do they?
Well, I did. I put up on for alternate on one day a week over
Okay,
there.
very
So
good.
just to try it in the afternoon.
Uh-huh.
But I still want my night job.
Very good.
But the thing of it is, I'm going to be 90 years old in July.
What?
90
No
years.
way.
Yes, 90 years old in July. And one of these days, I'm going to have to quit driving a car.
I suppose, but you know
Yeah.
what? We'll get Scott to come pick you up and bring
Any of them, yeah, any of them, yeah. They can come get me. I'll go any place.
I
yeah.
had no idea, Maxine. You would never guess. You
Well-
were almost 90.
But I have so much fun with it.
Yes, you
and
do.
I
I'm
have
sure
fun
that's
with
the
it here in the
secret.
wellness center because
You
the guys I
exercise
work
like
out
that?
with, they want to know when we're having a birthday party.
I bet.
But no,
We better have a big party. You better invite us.
No.
We need to be there.
I
to
doubt
celebrate.
that we'll have one. I don't. It will come and go like all the others.
Oh
Yeah,
my
no.
goodness.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break and then
Okay.
we'll come back and we can talk more about all these other things. I mean, you are just an amazing woman. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after these messages.
All right.
Welcome back to Your Health Matters. My guest today is Maxine Burgess. And you just told me before the break that you're going to be 90 in July. I still am amazed. I cannot believe that. I could only wish that I could be even half of what you are and do at 90. That's amazing. So you've obviously taken good care of yourself, number one.
Well, I've had a wonderful husband.
Okay. Yeah.
I kind of had a hard life before I met him.
Okay.
And he's let me be free.
Okay,
I guess
cool.
that's it.
Yeah.
Before I used to have to watch wherever I went or whatever I did. And he adopted my 2 boys, and we had a daughter, and we've had a good life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
It'll be 54 years in July.
So, well, okay, so if you say you're not going to have a birthday party, you're going to have an anniversary party.
Yes, because we're going to go meet a group of people that he worked with, and they were all from California. Now they're from all. We're going up to Paso Robles to celebrate the anniversary, and it was a group of people called they called themselves the Elbows because
Elbows?
they played ball and then they drank some beer.
Got it.
Afterward. So this was a
Paso Robles, they'll have a blast up there. You're going to all the wineries up there?
well. We probably won't go very far. We'll probably all stay in one place.
Right,
because
yes.
driving won't be good for us.
Right, but there's quite a few in that area.
Yes.
We were just, my husband and I were just up there in September. It's beautiful country.
Anyway, one of the families moved up there, and
nice.
so and they're in a senior facility where they can use the facilities.
Like they have like a
big rec hall and so
community
on.
center
Yeah.
kind of thing?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So that's that. But, I'm back to our hospital in the fact that not only have I done volunteer work, I have had heart care here, unbelievable heart care. And I received a new hip in this place. And I've been in ER a few times. Every now and then I get an AFib, as everybody calls it. So I have to go in, and they check me out and send me back out on the road.
Very good.
But
so we've taken good care of you.
the hospital has taken wonderful care of me.
That's good.
And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about people and how I felt about people. And I just... Well, we have so many good doctors and people that you see them in the cafeteria, and they're human beings.
Right.
They're not just
up on a pedestal.
They communicate.
Right.
They will say hello to you.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother them if they've seen you before or anything. They acknowledge you, and even sometimes I've never seen them before, but they acknowledge you.
They recognize you, probably.
Well, especially if you're wearing that
blue
badge. When our volunteer badge is on, we get a lot of attention.
Yeah, well, that's because you're very special people.
And I think what the volunteers have done for the hospital also with their gift shop and so on,
absolutely.
the money that they've brought in is fantastic.
Yes.
Just, and that's a pitch, I'll tell you. Our gift shop is fantastic, and more people should come there for gifts because
it's tax-free.
Well, yes, and I had a friend that came in, and she could not believe the jewelry and things that they had.
Yep.
And she's been back a number of times. No, it is wonderful.
Yeah, they have fun plush animals, household decorations, all that. And all the money that the volunteers make from that goes back into the hospital. They help buy equipment that,
that's wonderful.
It is. They provide scholarships for healthcare workers, so they're an amazing group of women.
Well, and the
men
thing,
too.
The thing about the volunteer thing is you don't have to work the desk. There are other jobs that can be done, and they would love to have some people come and do them.
Yeah.
Go in the gift shop and help straighten shelves, and it's...
There's all kinds of... They even have like help with filing paperwork if someone was an office worker before.
If they all ask to volunteer, somebody will find a job for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that
absolutely.
is for sure. Yes.
In fact, so our audience here could call Leanna. 692-4673 is her number. I happen to know that one. So they could call her, and she could hook them up.
Yeah, and she'd sign them up in a minute.
That's right. And hospice, too. I know that the hospice is always looking for volunteers. And that takes a special person. But I was a hospice volunteer, too, when I first started here 10 years ago. And one of the first things I learned was that I was going to be doing fundraising for hospice. At that time, I didn't really know
what
hospice was
Yeah.
and what it meant.
Yeah.
And so I became a hospice volunteer so I could learn firsthand. That was a life-changing experience. I mean, I did it for like 5 years. It wasn't until my job got so big that I had to finally quit. I just couldn't do it all. But it's an amazing experience as well. And
I think that too many people, you say the word hospice and all they think of is dead.
Right.
Somebody dying.
Right.
And gee, some of those people have been on hospice and stayed at home for several years.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they want to be at home, hospice will handle sending somebody out periodically, and a nurse maybe come once a week. It's a
special program.
It's a special program.
Also,
yeah.
I think it's really important it's for the family, not just the patient, but you're giving the family a break.
Yeah.
So like for a volunteer, they can go and sit with the patient so the spouse
family can get out of the house and get away from, have time to think about something else, or just grocery shop.
Yes, or go watch a movie or do something different. And they always need help at the hospice home as well, with paperwork, baking cookies.
Oh, the cookies. I was over there yesterday and they were making cinnamon rolls, and so I stuck my head in the kitchen door before I left and I said, I could eat a cinnamon roll, and they said, no, you can't. Cindy is having them for a meeting, so I didn't get one. Oh. The ladies that go over there and bake are just
awesome.
They're good. They're good. Yep. Yes.
So that's wonderful.
And to go stand in that kitchen and bake all day, they're and people don't realize they're kind of behind the scenes.
Right. Well, and that's like quilters. We have a number of different quilting and crocheting and knitting groups that are always making blankets and quilts for the hospice patients.
Each hospice patient has their own quilt, and when they go home, it goes with the family, or when they go
and when they pass,
or go back home, that goes to the family. That was theirs.
Yeah,
and that's another. It's kind of special.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely is.
You lose someone, but here's this remembrance.
Yes.
And that's the like care that they get.
Those bears that the quilters make too, where they can bring in a favorite shirt or something of the
and make bears
patient,
out of it.
And they make little stuffed bears.
Yeah, I have a former neighbor, and I spent a lot of time with her when her husband was going, not as a hospice volunteer, but just as a friend. And when he was in hospice. After he passed away, he had been in the military and there was a big write-up about it. But she had one of his shirts.
Like a uniform
from way back.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
And they took it over and they made the bear out of it, and I took it back to her, and that
was special for her.
There's just so many things.
Well, and I think maybe as we mature, get older, we start to appreciate more the giving. How much you get when you give.
Yeah.
And being a volunteer, I mean, it's not like you're giving financially, although you and Dwight have certainly done that, but you give of your heart and your time, which I think you get back 100-fold, right?
Oh, the wellness center was really good. I also got involved in Cornerstone Mission for the homeless. It was homeless men. Now it's mostly homeless families. They
work Diana's Faith House.
Yes, and in fact, we have a nurse working here now that had started out in Diana's Faith House for the women's shelter.
Really?
Yeah, she works for Dr. Sadeh.
Oh.
And but she was in there with these women. Yeah. And but Don over in the wellness center let me put in a tub.
So you're collecting
for my collection for Cornerstone.
Awesome.
And they kept getting enough stuff that it's a pickup place now. Cornerstone comes over and pick up regularly.
Maxine, thank you again for being on the show, for all that you do. We have to go. I'm sorry the time's up, but I hope you enjoyed this program and meeting this awesome lady. We'll have another great guest on the program next week. I hope you'll join us then.